Never in my days have I been simultaneously more concerned and intrigued. What's up, guys? That guy with a pencil here. Fun fact, I do it too. Have it on me and keep it on me at all times. Another fun fact, I have I don't have a third, 15 minutes to give you my thoughts on the ramifications of the France game on basically the entire rest of the World Cup arc. Which we aren't very far in, I don't think, but I have 15 minutes. Let me start this timer right now and get into what exactly I mean. So, boom! France versus bluelock, France versus Japan, France versus whatever you want to call it, has been something genuinely insane, I would say, in terms of what everyone, and I do mean basically everyone, I don't know, I don't have my claws hooked into every single aspect of the community, but no one expected the game to be this close. Even for people who were not expecting like a blowout, right? Like a massive maybe 4-0 or 4-3. Well, not 4-3. That's we're kind of close to that, but not a 4. Like essentially, anyone who didn't expect like a super massive gap, the people who were expecting a closer game, like maybe a 4-2 or maybe like a 5-3, something like that. No one expected the game to be this close, this down to the wire, and notably, I think that made sense. And still sort of does make sense on a grander narrative perspective. Because let me explain something here. Unless I'm mistaken, this is the second match for Japan in the U20 World Cup. The second match they've ever played. Last match was against Nigeria. France is here at round 2. And the other thing that I understand fundamentally and intrinsically about the narrative so far is that this is the strongest team the U20 has to offer, right? Like, as far as we know, France is basically unrivaled. They are getting glazed by everybody. They have Julian Loki, the fastest man in the entire world, the one who well-known considers a threat to grand creation itself. Obviously, you have Hugo, who's proven to be a monster among monsters. We've had so much hype and glaze built to France before the match even started, during the match itself, and obviously going forward. And only reinforcement of certain ideas. And you may be like, okay, pencilman, you're laying out these cold hard facts to me, but why does this concern you? The reason it concerns me is that let's go with the best case scenario, right? Like, let's assume, despite Isagi's consistent evolution, despite Rin seemingly having an awakening moment in the latest chapter at the time of recording, chapter 345, despite everything here, they fail to score, right? Ultimately, the game ends as a 3-2. I don't exactly know how you, or me, or literally anyone else is meant to be concerned about the rest of the games. Now, here's the thing. I will say this clear, honest, and straight up. The group stage of the U20 World Cup was, I'm not going to say irrelevant, right? But I've talked about this a lot in the reviews. The idea that this part of the narrative necessarily matters in depth outside of specific character developments and interactions and dynamic building is kind of a dream within a nightmare, right? Ultimately, this doesn't matter because we know for a fact with Kira being brought back, with Nagi being set up? Who's beating Nagi? Nagi being set up, and Sei specifically being locked behind the completion of the group stages executing to the elimination stage. This first section of the arc kind of already didn't matter. It's why me and many others were actually okay with a blue lock blowout, because ultimately, it would only make narrative sense. You can have a freebie, right? Ultimately, Blue Lock did not need to defeat France. It's okay if they lost to France. It's okay if they got violated by France. Because not only is France well established to be the strongest team right now with some of the strongest players, but also we may run it back later. This technically doesn't really matter in terms of a win or a loss or anything like that. And ultimately, narratively, it probably wouldn't be the best balancing move to, have the strongest team already struggle against our current blue lock, which presumably should have only been getting stronger as the arc progressed, right? All these factors together sort of merged and was like, okay, yeah, this should be fine. But then blue lock went extreme diff with France. Spontaneous evolution thanks to Karasu, and now Isagi's evolution and Hiyori's, like, ultimately, Everything, all the stars align to make this game that was supposed to be something light, something easy, something smooth, something buttery, in terms of like, okay, it's probably gonna be a blowout, or at least pretty decisively in France's favor, to oh no, this is a battle down to the extra minutes. We're in danger, huh? And by we, I mean like the narrative itself. Because let's be honest, England hasn't gotten the narrative hype that France has gotten. Germany, well, it has Kaiser. And I love Kaiser. It has Kaiser. Hasn't gotten the narrative hype that France has gotten. Even Bunny Iglesias, the other major new Gen 111 member that we have been confirmed that we're most likely going to interact with, considering the entire nature of Say's character, right? Like, even he, despite the glaze he's received, hasn't gotten the same level of glaze that France has gotten. Loki, especially in terms of New Gen 11 and New Gen 11, Loki is greater, Loki is better. That's how the narrative, not even me. This isn't one of my cases, a pencil hucking headcanon. No, the narrative itself was like, oh nah, Loki is like this top tier, next level, monstrous beast creature. It's to the point where, in spite of his lackluster performance this game, most people just narratively understand, oh, well, Loki's probably still, a monster, a beast, a creature. But the issue is stuff like this right here. You see his eyes? The black sclera and the sparkling flow eyes? Yeah, Loki had to do that. To this current bluelock. So, even if they do stop the play, right? And I do hope they stop the play. I'm still in the camp that I want Japan to lose. I do not want them to tie this game. I'd probably hurl. But I wouldn't hurl. But still, this is concerning. It's concerning in a way that I kind of don't like. Now, the main issue, right, is an issue of meta-narrative versus actual narrative. It's almost like, it's not ludonarrative dissonance because I'm not playing a video game when I read bluelock, right? But it is a sort of narrative dissonance where I'm sitting here and I'm looking at the future and I'm like, okay, even in the super sleeper giga optimized scenario where all of France's hype and glaze and next level slobbering was misattributed, and or there's some super sleeper giga crazy top tier team out there lying in the wait, maybe Bunny's team, maybe a completely unknown team that we'll run into, I still feel like that would kind of be forced or contrived writing because France was kind of made a little bit too touchable. Now, here's the thing. I can already hear the counter arguments to this, and it comes down to the classic fallacy, or not even like a fallacy, just the classic idea. Heck, I can't even call it a fallacy. Actually, I will call it a fallacy because I use the fallacy. Sweat scaling. Obviously, everyone on bluelock is sweating, right? Karasu is sweating. Hiyori is sweating. Where are you, Big Sagi? I know you're sweating too. Big Sagi is sweating. Everyone here is engaged in hiding and sweating. Look, Chigiri and Botcher have been on the bench since the start of the second half. We know it's been 45 minutes and they're still sweating, right? So obviously bluelock is putting in a lot more innate effort than France is. That is valid. But like, I still don't know if I can excuse that much. Like, that's the thing. It's weird. Because I feel like the narrative is trying to tell me something, like, on the textual level, but on what it's actually showing me, it's not giving me that. It's the whole classic dilemma of show, don't tell. But instead of it's show, don't tell, it's show versus tell. You're telling me that France is this next level, divine, evolved team of such great variety and evolution that bluelock couldn't dream of touching them, and they're basically guaranteed to win the World Cup. They're the favorites, this, that, and the third. And then you're showing me them going extreme depth. Now, still, they aren't sweating. And I dabble in sweat scaling myself. But I don't know, man. It's just not going to feel right. Like, how am I meant to go into the England game? Like, already, like I mentioned, the group stage already had just lowered stakes inherently, narratively, just because England's the group stage. We know we're not going to lose in the group stage and then not get any Say, not get any Nagi, not get presumably any Kira, whatever. Like, we're not going to get none of them. We're going to get some. We're leaving here with some, if you know what I'm talking about. But, like, now the England stakes are even lower because bluelock shouldn't struggle. Right? Sure, they are sweating extremely, going all out, but they went high diff, darn near extreme diff with France. Hugo himself, by the end of this chapter, is like, not even the end of the chapter, at the start of the chapter, flat out says, you passed Japan. Now let's reach our true ending in the showdown between teams of perfect suitability. Hugo's glazing. He's whipping out his special eye and going green. Like, but England's supposed to be a problem. Right? England's going to be an extreme diff match. Any team that's not France again is meant to be extreme. Like, how am I supposed to buy? Like, am I supposed to buy the sweat scaling that much, right? Like, am I supposed to look at our blue lock cast, you know, shifting and shaking and dripping and going on, like, them going on, and then just look at, like, casual, like, but that's the thing, though. It's that show don't tell again. Because, sure, the sweat scaling is accurate. Loki's not sweating. Charles isn't even sweating. Hugo isn't sweating. And, like, I'm not sure if any of the background irrelevant name, well, they're not nameless. They have names, but, like, some of the side fodder, right? Let me check if any of them are sweating. I'm legit trying to take a look in the book, reading Rambo type beat. Okay, a little bit of sweat from the, you know, side characters like bats. But even still, that kind of makes it worse. That kind of makes it worse. Because Hugo's ego is showing, right? He's glazing Japan. His special eyes are popping out. And I do need to remind you as well, the thing that makes this even worse, this is a blue lock in transition. This is a blue lock that's not even, like, fully locked in yet, twin. This is a blue lock that just maybe kind of sort of figured out about suitability and was like, well, you know, I didn't really get it at first, but actually, maybe we should know and do both. And then even ego support. Like, this is a blue lock that hasn't even refined this strat yet. And they're still pushing low-key to whip out the black Skellerer and the flow eyes, right? Like, sure, he's not sweating, but, dog, you don't go into flow unless you're in that perfect state of balance between extremely impossible challenge and something too easy. So if Loki, supposedly the strongest player in the world, right? Godspeed Loki, is out here hitting flow and black Skellerer. I know sometimes people, I'm not sure what the consensus is. Are black Skellerer flow? Are the sparkling eyes flow? I feel like the most consistent is sparkling eyes are flow, and then black Skellerer is like reflex / flow. But regardless, Loki's doing this. No sweating or not. I'm being shown, narratively, that Blue Lock was able to push Loki to this point. A Blue Lock in transition, a Blue Lock that doesn't fully know what it's doing. A Blue Lock that doesn't even have one of its star players even remotely locked in. We've been joking about Rin basically being a non-factor, but he's basically been a non-factor. Rin hasn't hit flow once this game, and they're already kind of pushing it. Spaghetti-O. Shido's barely touched the ball. It's not looking the best for the future, despite how much I do like it. And, like, let me go into that a little bit. I still do really like the France game, right? As much as I'm, like, worried for narrative stakes and investment for, like, future games, because realistically, either they start struggling again in future games, which really wouldn't make sense considering they did this well against the best team in the world, and or they don't struggle at all, which would kind of be, like, weird. Like, it'd be a good way to get some side characters on the pitch, but still kind of strange. I do like the France game, and I like that it did subvert all of our expectations. My main worry is that in this attempt, not even an attempt, it happened, right? In this successful subversion of everybody's expectations, I worry intrinsically and fundamentally about the future narrative engagement, right? Like, it's a little too concerning. But it's not, it's a weird place to be put in, right? Because I'm not overly concerned in the sense of, like, I'm gonna stop reading, like, I'm not dropping Blue Lock, right? I'm too locked in. I'm too locked in. So not even sunk cost fallacy. Like, I'm too actively engaged with the narrative now. But we're in a weird spot writing wise. Because I don't know how I'd feel if Japan actually does go extreme diff with England. Now at this point, it doesn't really make sense. But at the same time, I wouldn't want to see them blow out England. But, like, that's if not what should happen. Like, I don't know. No one's gotten the narrative glaze that France has gotten. And yet France has put up, not like a sorry performance, but it isn't a performance of the gods. It isn't a performance of divinity. Like, it isn't hitting as much as it feasibly could, which is a bit unfortunate considering how much these characters were hyped. And I'm not saying, like, a character like Hugo has fallen beneath his hype. Hugo didn't exist. You couldn't exist until right before the start of the France game, and he's exceeded my expectations in every single way. But in exceeding all my expectations and feeding into the narrative glaze, Hugo has almost fallen short of what was promised for France. And same with Loki. It's like this underwhelming performance and the fandom's collective disappointment in Loki's performance and the general narrative structure of the France game being so competitive when realistically it should have been something more vicious and violent. Yeah, I don't know, man. We're in a really weird spot. Overall, I think we'll be fine, but it's going to be a rough transition to the rest of the U20 World Cup arc. I'm interested to see how Kaneshiro Sensei handles it. But I am out of time, so please let me know what you guys think down below. Do you guys agree with me? Do you think, like, it's going to be a little bit weird going forward with how intense the France versus Japan game has been so far? Do you think the narrative can rebalance? We can rely on the sweat scaling. We can kind of just, like, not ignore, but undermine or override some of the, like, weird levels of effort that France seemingly needs to put in spite of the sweat scaling. Do you guys think I'm tweaking? Do you guys think I'm not tweaking? Please let me know all that and more in the comment section down below. If you haven't liked this video, please leave high diff question mark exclamation point high diff question mark exclamation point in the comment section down below. I want to thank you so much for watching. So leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. Make sure that lethal notifications so you don't miss out on any news that come to the channel. Also, you have a page down below. Use more me for as low as $1. Get them one, no month. You can exclusive videos, early content, and more. Also, now become a member of the channel for as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. So, perks will include the live reactions for the series I happen to review, ad-free reactions to all my videos, early ad-free access to all my videos, early ad-free access to all my videos, not just here on the main channel, but on the second channel. That calls reaction link in the description down below, along with a link to my Twitch. Every Friday, 8 p.m. ES Tizzle. Feel free to roll through. On top of that, I do have my Ko-Fi down below. You can drop 5 views for a short video, 20 views for a long video. If you ever wonder what a short video is, it is literally videos of these length, like these 15-minute videos. That's what you get for 5 beans. And for 25 beans, you get like review length videos. So do whatever you wish. But now I want to thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is Back with the Pencil, writing off. I'd like to give a thank you to our sketch tier members: Eternal Flame, Riddle 4765, Astro, Glacier XZ, Zera, J2MA, Buddha Uda, Yuki Ally, Grim, Ollie, The Boy, Corey Watson, Damon Brown, Tim Thomas, Kaving, OrXN, Dead Mean, Keon Stewart, Edwin Idwignoba, Straw, Antavius Mitchell, Superflame Zero, Weary Exile, Alex Kenny, Todd, The Practical One, Landon Clapwick, Heath Nelson, CAET, Plan Crone, Brandon Payne, Black Sage, Multi-Batman Superman, Zalims, Joe Bean, Sleepin' John, The Young Family Pastel Pandora, Mosity King DKG, Akolade Babatunde, Union Eye, Funny Dude, Athenzi Shear, Sino King, Sheesh King, CCC, Enzo, Kitty Liddy, Axis XC, RTM, Gangatron, Praise the Sun, Striker Man, Magic, Enzreen Bonnet, Scion, John Malcolm, Black Doctor Strange, and Donovan McIntosh. Then I'd like to give a thank you to our line art tier patrons: Dread Zoan, Kevin Encarnaus, Midnight Lord 21, and Sean. Then I'd like to give a thank you to our ink tier members: Shrimp the Fourth Shrimp 06. Then I'd like to give a thank you to our digital art tier members: Jay Warrior and AZ Void. I'd like to give a final thank you to our colored art tier patrons: Walking Munoz and Walking Munoz.